Hello everybody, and welcome to my channel. So today, actually, we're going to be trying out something new. We're going to be looking over all the new talents, or the new Persona web tree stuff. So what that means is we're going to be looking at the different types of builds that you can go, and which hunters and survivors will take which builds. So this is going to be the hunter video. Honestly, I haven't really looked at all of them individually yet, so this is my first time also going through it with you guys. The major thing is that most of the time, these capstone traits that hunters can take are usually going to be set in stone. Like, for a breaking wheel, I'll probably still be taking insolence, and I'll still probably be taking confined spaces. But something might actually change depending on how strong these things are. One thing I do want to say before we get into these is that whether watching the Survivor one or the Hunter one, I don't want to make a tier list of these yet without having played them first. I think it's kind of weird to prejudge how things play out without having to see how they work for myself. So I will probably give this a week of playtesting before I make a tier list of how good each individual one is. So yeah, let's get on with the review. So deteriorates pretty much the same. If you hit a survivor, the decoding slows down. Wither is just survivors on the rocket chair and the hunter's 10 meters away. The hunter's normal attack will reduce survivor's acceleration of effect by 15%. So this is pretty good for camping. Destructiveness, this is the pallet destroying speed, really good. I love this on a lot of hunters, especially like Anne or something like that. Panic, this is pretty much the same. The more you damage them, it's kind of like deteriorate. But this is like per survivor. Berserker. I hate Berserker when I'm dealing with it, but I love it when I'm playing as Hunter. It's really good for camping style hunters. I know Dream Witch takes this a lot, Anne takes this a lot, Joseph takes this a lot. There's a lot of different people who can take this one. Rage, the Iron Blood trait increases the hunter's recovery speed by 10%, 15%, 20% after being stunned, when survivor struggles feet after being affected by a powerful control effect. So I think this is pretty good. I mean, like, I don't really take rage on a lot of hunters because it's mostly when if there's a lot of CC people, this is pretty useful. But if there is a lot of CC characters, I feel like if you do get stunned, it's kind of you're taking the stun, and like that survivor is pretty much scot-free anyways. The issue is that like the way I get around that is by just picking a hunter that deals with stuns better, whether that be Anne, Hermit, or Ivy, something like that, so you don't get stunned in the first place. Survivors are like way too scared if you just use Anne and you put something on top of yourself, like put the cats on top of yourself while you're picking up, no one can get near you. It doesn't really matter. Or if it's like a prospector or something, you can just jump on them or something like that. So yeah, I don't typically take rage or anti-CC buffs on a lot of characters. They can come in handy. Don't get me wrong, if it's like an entire team comp full of stunners, this could come in handy. But for the most part, I would just play an anti-stunner. And there's that. This is Obsession. Okay, so this is one of the new ones. After ending a pursuit, if there are no survivors within 16 meters, your movement speed increases by 6% for 15 seconds. This effect will end early if you enter a pursuit, pick up a survivor with a balloon, or if moving survivors appear within 16 meters. Honestly, I don't think this one is that good. It's mostly because, like, yes, it does help you change targets or like get to another spot faster if you need to, but honestly, like, if it ends early, 6% is a lot, and for 15 seconds, it's kind of a lot for you to, like, 15 seconds is a lot for you to travel pretty much like halfway across some maps, if you're especially at 6% bonus speed. But the thing is, like, once you enter pursuit of another survivor, which can happen from quite far, then this effect ends. Yeah, I don't know if I love this. I mean, it's definitely good, and for something that's so early in the tree, I mean, it might be considered worth taking. But like it depends on the hunter. Like, if I were a breaking wheel, I probably wouldn't take this. Um, like, I'm trying to think of a couple of hunters that might take it. Maybe Naiad, or I guess like Hellember would be pretty good. No, probably not Hellember. I guess Nai would be pretty good to take this on so that she can get bigger circles. Hermit would be pretty good at this if he wants to change targets on somebody really quick. But even then, like, the way you change targets on Hermit is not exactly like you just leave your target and go to another one. You're usually like still in the pursuit, or you teleport or slash warp on top of somebody. So this might be like, it's gonna be a little wonky depending on how this one works, especially for characters like Dream Witch or something like that. I still want to see the numbers on this one. Jury's still out. Increases ballooning speed, typically good if there's harassers, but once again, like there's ways around that. And then this one, Famine. During the first 50 seconds of a match, if no survivors within 18 meters, all survivors' decoding speed will be reduced by 6%. I don't think this is a very good trait. I don't typically like Famine, or like there's another one that's kind of like that, Quenching Effect, where in the first 50 seconds, like if you don't find anyone, you can kind of see where people are for 5 seconds. It's if you're not finding anyone within the first 50 seconds, you're kind of cooked already. Like the 6% reduction, maybe. The way I'm reading this is super weird. It's kind of like at the 50-second mark, if you haven't started a hunt yet, or if you haven't found anyone yet, it's decreased by 6%. Like, or it could just be like at the 50-second mark, if you're currently not chasing someone, decoding speed reduces by 6%. And is it permanent? I don't know. I mean, even if it is permanent, at 50 seconds, like accelerated decoding is going to be kicking in soon, and it's just going to kick your butt. You're going to get cipher rushed either way. Like at 50 seconds, you're going to get cipher rushed. So I don't really think this is a pretty good. I don't think this is a good trait. Constrain. This is the same. It just cuts off the furthest cipher away from you. Survivors are highlighted for 5 seconds with exit gate. This is decently good. Wanted order. Oof. I love wanted order. And it's pretty good. It's kind of like hit or miss because it just gives you so much information, you know? Imagine you're on Moonlit, right? And you get wanted order on someone. If it's not the rescuer, like I'm breaking wheel, I usually just go after the rescuer if I find him on the wanted order. And then you just pay attention to see which ciphers are moving and then who's coming in. So wanted order is really great for like the middle of the map kind of stuff, or middle of the game kind of stuff, where like you need that information to determine where everyone is, or if there's like 2 ciphers that aren't moving. But generally, if it's early enough in the game and you get that survivor down early, then you can tell where people are. Like this does help you narrow down who is exactly where, especially if they rotate it around for ciphers. I like wanted order. Impact's pretty much the same. Hermit takes this a lot. It's really good. If you don't want survivors to heal, take this one. Hunter's Instinct I think is really good. A lot of hunters know how to use this like really well. When you just like look straight down the floor, so you're not actually engaged in a hunt, and then you just like, whoa, you just go faster. Hospitable, this one's okay. Like it increases your movement speed when you're tied to a balloon. Really good with grip. Like I've seen some hunters that have this weird play style where you just go for basement. You take grip and you take hospitable, and you just go fast ballooning speed as well, and you just go for basement most of the time. Basement's really strong for a lot of hunters. But I think that like this is pretty much the same. Trump card's pretty much the same. I think they may have changed the cooldown on some of these things, or like the amount of time. Like confined spaces, 20 seconds is pretty much the same. But yeah, you get the point. Desperate Fight, this is the anti-stun. Again, it's like similar to Rage, but it's on the right side of the tree. And this is like you kind of have to get stunned first. Like if you get stunned, your successive stuns aren't that great. Like if there's an enchantress and she just constantly taps you. But I find that like if you are getting tapped that often, or like pallet stun and stuff like that, it's kind of like you only need like half a second most of the time as a survivor to get to a pallet or get to a window. And so like the anti-stun, if it's built up all the way, it's pretty good, but it's like in other cases it's just like not good enough. And then Addiction is the kind of like the king of anti-stun. It looks like they moved Nostalgic down here. Nostalgic used to be like over here or over here somewhere. I forgot. So I kind of like Nostalgic for hunters that usually are moving away from chairs or stuff like that to proxy camp. That just means that you are like further away from your chair, but still patrolling the radius of the chair so that you can catch survivors out early that are coming in. This is pretty good for hunters that aren't exactly good at camping but need to camp. And it can help a lot. Like maybe like Bonbon's really good with this. I like taking this as Clerk sometimes, but now that it's this side of the tree, I would consider taking this on some people. So I'm glad. I'm actually happy that they moved it, because it used to be down a path, but that would mean that you have to take, like, most hunters, a lot of hunters take constrain. Not a lot of hunters take desperate fight if you don't need it. And nostalgic is down here now. I mean, granted, it's only 1 point into each of these, but it'll be something to take into consideration. Inertia, attack recovery speed by 10%. We love attack recovery speed. It's pretty much just good universally. Punching effect, I don't think it's very good. But if you need to get to Sadist, I mean, like, Sadist is pretty good if you have a camping hunter. Like, if you are Hellember, Bonbon, I've seen some Hermits take this. Naiads take this sometimes. It's, this is a pretty good trait. I just think, like, quenching effect isn't very good. Giant Claw, this is also pretty good. If you're going for builds that, like, some hunters like to take this. I think it was used to be further up. I don't remember. I don't typically take this myself, but if you try to go for basements more often, or if you're a hunter that's really good in basement, Naiad, Dream Witch, or something like that, then yeah, Giant's Claw is pretty good. Mach, this was interesting. Movement speed is increased by 3% when survivor is just placed on a rocket chair. I think this is generally pretty good. I mean, like, I never really looked at these two things. I just assumed we always had these because, like, 90% of hunters, like, just take detention. So, yeah. Carnival gains 5% attack recovery speed. I don't know if they changed these at all. You're gonna have them. Majority of the time, you're gonna have these unless you're a non-detention hunter. Breaking Wheel doesn't always take detention. Clown doesn't always take detention. Bonbon doesn't usually. Sometimes it depends. But for a majority of hunters, you probably are going to take detention, so you're probably going to have these two. Overwhelm. Attack recovery speed increases by 5, 10, 15% for knocking down 2, 3, 4 survivors. This is pretty good. I think this is one of the new ones. Like, the thing is, I really need to know if these are permanent throughout the entire match, because, like, 15% attack recovery speed for knocking down 2, 3, or 4 survivors, like, this is kind of crazy. If you stack this with Berserk, like, that's 15%, 20 and 25% on top of a permanent 15%. Like, you're going to be swinging and then ready to swing again. If you're Joseph with, like, 0 attack recovery, you're going to have, like, negative attack recovery. You'll just swing twice in the same swing. It's kind of crazy. I actually don't remember if this was here before. Is this one of the new ones? I don't remember. Because Impulsive is here, and I love Impulsive. Impulsive is really good for this slight movement speed, and the cooldown's really low. If you miss, you can just swing again. It helps a lot, like, to bait out flywheels if you use a long hit instead of a short hit. I highly encourage Impulsive, especially for hunters to have, like, a really long attack. Bloody Queen is an example of one of these, where she just, like, she Tokyo drifts, like, through pallets with her increased 8% movement speed. It's like a whole second for some characters. No survivors. Within the range of 25 meters from a knockdown survivor, each free moving survivor will increase the hunter's attack recovery speed by 10 minutes. Oh my god, you could stack Overwhelm with no survivors with Berserker. You're swinging. You're just swinging so much. Especially if it stacks up to 3 times, so it can actually go up to 30%. I doubt you'll be in the case where 3 survivors are all harassing at the same time, but, like, you can get so much attack recovery now if you're making an attack recovery build. Usually the ones who take these, though, are hunters that already have fast attack recovery. Like, I've noticed that when you're playing hunter, the best things to do are typically to capitalize on things that you're really good at. Anne breaks pallets really fast, so she takes pallet breaking speed on top of that, and now she can break the pallet while you're stunned, and that's the entire length of the stun. So that's kind of crazy. Joseph has a high attack recovery. Black Wuchang has high attack recovery, so you might want to go down here when you're doing that. It makes getting off the chair and getting away from the chair a quadrillion times harder if they're not a type of character who can just, like Puppeteer can maybe puppet, but then, like, where are you gonna go, you know? Like, a Black Wuchang is gonna swing and swing and swing and swing. Deer Hunter is pretty much the same. It just, if you're close enough, it shows when you're down. Exhibitionist, I love Exhibitionist. Because I miss a lot. I tend to miss, especially if characters like Flywheel. So if you miss, you get to swing again, and it's a little bit faster. Hunt, I think Hunt is still good. 11, 9, 7 seconds. After 7 seconds, you increase 10% movement speed. And both movement speed and obstacle vaulting speed. This is generally really, really good. Like, this is really good on Dream Witch, on Hellember, on Clerk. For characters that, like, rely on just straight up walking, I think that that require them to like just be faster than you and don't use their abilities as often, or that their abilities don't interfere with Hunt. Because I don't know if they changed this, but Clerk, I feel like, could take Hunt and record and it wouldn't stop her Hunt cooldown. But I don't know. Maybe they changed that. Maybe they didn't. Street Sweeper reveals survivors are healing. I don't think you need this. This is, I guess, did this always increase their healing time by 25%? 40%, 55%? It's pretty much like, I guess you could take this if you're maybe, like, have someone down on the chair. Unless this counts as, like, self-healing. If there's other survivors who are healing him, okay. But if you, like, down the survivor, I wonder if Street Sweeper takes effect. Because if it does, that's crazy. That means anyone who gets scuffed isn't getting up anytime soon. And at the same time, like 24, 18, 32 meters, this is quite large. It's a pretty big area. It's pretty much like Tinnitus range and then some if you're at max. And it reduces their healing time, which is by a lot too. 55% is a lot. The only issue is that's like a peeper. You're trying to heal on a peeper. I don't think he needs to be revealed most of the time. Like, a lot of the times, I usually hear them healing. There are times when, like, if it slowed down their healing by 55%, they wouldn't be able to complete the heal. This could definitely catch survivors off guard. But unless you're a character that, like, switches targets a lot and, like, does damage to multiple people, I don't know if this is going to be super coming in handy. So, for example, if you're a hermit, I can see this coming in handy. And stuff like that. You would take Impact and Street Sweeper. Tolerance, impressive tolerance reduces the effect. Dude, this is really good. If you take Inso, you have to have these. So like Breaking Wheel just naturally gets this. Ivy naturally gets this. This reduces like the knockdown effect and slowdown effects. Not stuns necessarily, but like Acrobat Brown Ball or like Wendy's knockback with her wind. Batter's Batting Ball. Like this is really good for those things. Again, if you're getting hit by like a full charge batter ball, like batter's probably still going to get away, but this makes it so much harder to get away smoothly. After Effects reduces self-healing limit capacity. This is, I mean, this is pretty good if you're a hermit and you're slugging. If you're a slugging type character, so like Breaking Wheel is really good at slugging. Clown is pretty good at slugging. I don't know, Percy, I guess. Maybe. I don't know if Percy takes this or not. Percy's kind of a weird hunter. And then, like, Breaking Wheel naturally has this too. I probably already said that. But if you're a slugging character, like, even Hermit could take this, then it's pretty good. And then naturally, Insolence. Insolence is the same, looks like. Control Freak. Control Freak is the same. This used to be Sadist, but I'm glad they renamed it. Movement speed is increased by 10% for 3 seconds after dropping from a height. Maps like Red Church, that don't have any height to drop from, is like, okay, this is pretty useless. So just make sure you're using this on specific maps. Like certain characters like Lucino. Lucino takes Control Freak every single time. Because when you jump down, that also counts as your landing. Hellenberg, when he throws his thing, he also lands from a height. Yeah, there's like minor things that can cause hunters to jump, but I think that this is like a little bit more niche than certain traits. And I mean, like if you're gonna take it, most hunters have Deer Hunt. I love this just because I'm blind and I need to find people, so this is kind of like right next to it, so it makes it pretty easy to get. Vigilance. I don't think I've seen this one before. When the first 3 Cypher machines are activated, each activation increases your movement speed by 6% for 10 seconds. And pallet destroying speed by 15%. This affecting stack is permanently lost when a survivor is placed on a rocket chair. Okay, this is kind of like I'm suffering and I need help kind of thing. I feel like it's permanently lost when the survivor is placed on the rocket chair. I don't like effects that do that. If this activated before, like, because, you know, 3 Cypher machines, they don't pop like 1, 2, 3. I guess a prisoner, I guess this would be good. They pop like 1, 2, 3. Like they pop all at the same time because usually you're chasing 1 person and 3 people are decoding. So they're all going to pop at the same time. And if 3 ciphers have popped and you haven't chaired anyone yet, like generally you're pretty cooked or you're getting a tie at best. Unless you get a really good scuff. But yeah. Claustrophobia, I don't think is very good. Oh wait! If there are 3 active survivors, oh wait, 15% slower. I don't know. I tend to think that like at the end game, if there's still 4 survivors up, unless you're like in a really unique situation, if there's 4 survivors up at end game, like generally you're cooked. There's some hunters that have the exception, like Ivy. Ivy's kind of an exception, but like it's only for 20 seconds. I don't think 20 seconds is enough. You need for a lot more of that to make that work. But yeah. Anyways, there's a lot of different things. I'm looking forward to try them. I'm going to be playing Hunter on the weekends and trying out a bunch of different pages. So if you guys are interested, stop by the channel. Let me know what you think of this type of content in the comment section below, and hopefully maybe I'll do more guides in the future. It did take a little bit more editing work, but I'm happy to do them for you guys. Anyways, have a great rest of your day, you guys. I love you all. Bye-bye! Hey everyone, thank you for watching. And if you liked that video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and hit the notification bell for more. Also, a huge shout out to my patrons who help keep my channel going. Love you all, and see you next time.